Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dream Career Talk Show. On this show, we bring industry experts from various domains to share their knowledge, their experience, their failures, and success so that it can inspire others to build their dream careers. In today's episode, we'll be discussing on one of the hot topics, stock market. And today we have some amazing guests with us who have actually learned stock market, generated success for themselves, and today are able to help a lot of people to learn stock market and also get success for themselves. So stock trading, we know, is one of the ways to make money. For many people, it is the secondary source of income. But how do you do stock trading in the best ways? Shashikant, who is one of our guests, had done his B in civil from BIT Bangalore and worked in multiple jobs, including government and private. And from there, he transitioned into stock trading. And with him, we have his partner, Meena, who did her B.Sc in applied botany, got into interior designing, got into government services, back into private services. Today, both Shashikant and Meena are full time in stock market training. Shashikant and Meena, I think you are doing wonderful job out there, and it is a pleasure to have you both here on Dream Career Talk Show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Great to have you both. And let's start with Meena. Right, Meena, how did you get into stock market training? Can you share about your journey that got you here?
This started way back, I think around 35 years back when I was still a student and my father was serving in the banking sector. And then when they happen to lend out loans, they generally, inspect the companies and they talk about the financials. So that way he used to come back and discuss a lot of things with me when I was a child. And that is where this small spark was lit up. And then I later on pursued interior designing, and then after my graduation, and I think long after that I wasn't even imagining that I would get back into stock market. But there came a situation where I had to go back to my passion. So when I was sitting back after having pursued my career for quite some time, and there was a time when Shashikant was not available to pursue our passion together. So, I mean, profession together. That's when I went back into my passion. And then that is how I started off getting into the stock market. Initially, with a lot of glitch, I got into this market without no formal education in the stock market. So I saw a lot of ups and downs, a lot of roller coasters, and then I realized there has to be a formal education to this, or there has to be learning in this, and that's when I went on learning. But then it so happened that I did not get the right kind of support that I was expecting from the market. And then I started experimenting my own, and then I started deriving my own strategies. After a while, then the journey took off very smooth and fine. And then that's when I even started coaching people. So this has been my journey. So it's almost been 18 to 19 years plus in the stock market, and I've been teaching for almost 8+ years now.
Wow, that's like a 2 decades of experience and now 8 years of teaching experience. I think that's amazing. And Shashikant, how did this journey start for you? Because you were an engineer from academics, right? So did you have a passion for stock trading right from the beginning, or was it Meena who inspired you later during the journey?
Right. So basically, I'm a B civil engineer. I was working as a like site engineer. Like I used to construct buildings, all those things. That was my passion actually earlier. After that, I joined to government job. There, I don't know. Some I worked a few years, and there I didn't get a passion there. I didn't find my passion and interest also there. So I had some health issues also. So because of that, I resigned and I started with again. I started with my personality development classes along with Meena. I started with students earlier, and I saw a lot of changes in them, like getting more marks, and personally they are they are growing strongly, mental mindset, all those things. I inspired. Then I started taking the classes for even for the parents also. Even they wanted to attend my classes. So after that they asking me to introduce about the finance also. So I didn't have any background about finance all those things. So I requested my Meena, and she told that okay, she will also give some informations about the finance. So she started giving about first initially SIP, that systematic investment plan. Later on that, she had the passion of stock market. So then again we started. I mean, that is our main motto now. Stock market with the mindset. So how it works, like personal, family, social, intellectual, spiritual, and the finance, all holistic life concept we are having. So that's what right now we are doing, sir.
Great, that's amazing. That's nice to know the way journey unfolded for both of you. Right today, both of you are doing stock market training, right? And I think that's become one source of income for many people, right? So how did you see this change happen? Like when did you see, like Mina, you have been training for 8 years, right? So were people interested when you started stock market training the same way today they are showing the interest in stock market, or was there a certain point of time when you saw this shift happening and this increasing? How was this?
The actually there definitely I should say that there has been a shift, but then initially where people came to me just as looking for a second source of income or a parallel source of income kind of an attitude, or maybe for their retirement plans and all of it. But the corona, which brought down most of the business, was a boon for the stock market, that which all of us are aware of. So that was the time when the work from home came in as a blessing in disguise for most of the people who were working, the employee category of people.
So
So that is when I saw that a lot of these software engineers just turned around to stock market, because they started seeing unstable profile in whatever they were doing. So there was so much of instability in whatever they were doing, so much of layoffs and everything. So that is when we started seeing upsurge of IT professionals coming into this field. That was during the corona period. So that shift definitely was really drastic, I should say. And then of course we have had a lot of IT professionals even earlier, because of the work pressures they have. They work for different time zones and no time freedom, no whatever family time or personal time, and all of this that was always there. But then this upsurge was really remarkable when it came to corona and after effects of that, when there was a lot of layoffs and then recession setting in. So people are really fearful of the recession that is foreseen and all that. So now I see that most of them want to take it up as their full-time profession. And then I have also had a couple of my students who were doing very well, who had very good on a package, yearly package, and then around 25-30 lakhs of package, who have resigned their jobs and taken up stock market as their full time, because they were the kind of pressures that they go through is enormous. So when they see that the stock market can really give them a good breakthrough with time freedom and family time and everything, all that they aspired for, they are able to make it up in the stock market. Then definitely they are seeing this as a another full-time profession, I should say.
Yeah, I think that's most of them know. Like during COVID, like it became a huge shift, and I think one of the biggest thing where big businesses evolve is also the challenging times. I think COVID becoming a challenging time for some, it was a problem. For some, it became a boom, or that advantage the business got, right? And especially you spoke about corporate professionals moving into this, right? Now there's a mindset of a lot of people about making that quick money, and then when they see that does not happen, right, short term and all, how do you look at it, right? I know Shashikant has been working on personality development. So how did you actually start helping these people to build a mindset, and why is mindset important if we have to talk about trading here?
yeah, it's about money is for the life. Life is not for the money. So so the people who come here, no, say when we talk about the mindset, all those things, they'll tell, no, sir, actually, can you do one thing? Can you just tell me where to enter, when to enter? Then that's it. We'll get the results. Then we'll feel very happy. When they suppose if they go fail, I mean, if they go wrong or if they get lost, now at that time they realize that mindset is very important than money, correct? So so in that case what we are going to trying here is very important, peace of mind and happiness. Even when you lose your money, how to come up with the mindset, so again you can connect with the whatever the madam teachers here, no, that technicals, all those things. With that we can again they can come back and they can make money. So that is also very very important. And even see, we deal with the, like, relationship. It depends on the this, like, even the whatever the trading part is there, no, it relates with the personal life also. Their jobs, this thing, emotions, all those things, they will mix it. And the failures will be more when compared to, calm mind. So when they have a, complicated mind, so in that case I will give the support for them, so that they will feel that after completion of the course they feel that, so we are not in only making money, but it's about the life also, making big, building the characters, all those things. It is very important for meditation. So handwriting analysis classes, all those things, I'll take care of that. So then they feel, okay, this is a holistic. It's not like a part and only making money. So they feel very happy.
Right. I think that's a good blend of teaching them not only like the technical aspects but also the mindset. And Meena, you spoke about a lot of corporate professionals coming with that a challenge where they are struggling in their careers, right? Enormous pressure there. So emotions also important when you're doing stock trading, right? So how do you help them to make that right decisions when they are going through these kind of lot of ups and downs and lot of these emotions running which are like not very positive? How do you help them to actually make good decisions and buy the right stocks and do things?
Yeah. So to start with, I would like to tell you that we start always our session with a meditation. So that is to keep them grounded first of all and keep them focused. So whether it be a classroom session or with with when it comes to trading, I ask them to initially start with a meditation whenever they come in for a live session or when they are even in a class. I would that's the process we follow. First thing. The second thing is, I am a very strict teacher. I'm more like, a taskmaster. So I have laid a certain rules for the, for the students, so that it so happens that, once these habits are inculcated over a period of time, they keep repeatedly doing the same thing. Then they get into that becomes a habit. So I'm trying to push them with certain habits which will avoid wrong trades for them, the over trading, or because they are accountable. When you have someone to go back and address and then give your accountability, then probably there is that holding back of taking wrong decisions or making wrong decisions. So I keep them accountable for all their trades, and then I keep pushing them, I keep monitoring them. So in that sense, until they I see that they are really able to handle it by themselves, so until then I'm with them. So that give them a moral boost, in fact, and they can always come back and address to me. That is something which I give them. So whenever they are on a wrong trade, or let's assume they're just going over trading, then I would like to I will go ahead and address them. One odd day they would have done multiple trades, but then at the end of the day I counsel them, I sit, I talk to them as to what went wrong, why were they pushing themselves, or is it chasing the market, or is it a recovery mindset, or what is it? And then that's how I try to address them, because human beings are bound to fall a prey to emotions. But then you should always have that fallback or somebody to guide you. So I play that kind of a role with my students. So in that sense, I've been able to curtail a lot of their emotions, emotional turmoils, I should say. So that's the only way out. Otherwise, this is a, as you rightly said, this is a place where you fall a easy prey to emotions, because once you make money, you just become go after greed factors, and once there are failures, then the fear starts setting in. So we always talk of these two enemies, greed and fear in stock market. So they rule the market. So if you have to combat them, there are only two ways to do it, or two friends you can get savvy with. I always tell them discipline and patience. So these two things I always address and then talk to them, and then I keep repeating it over and over again. So trying to remind them of what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing, and how one bad decision of theirs can really put them into a bad state of mind and everything. I think it's more of addressing. It's like how you counsel kids when they go wrong and when they do something. So I think more of talking and speaking, and then getting them to realize that that's not the way they should be doing things, is the only way out in the stock market. There's no way out.
Yeah, I think I completely agree with that. Discipline and also having that patience are two important elements there. But still, because a lot of people have started new, right? We see sometimes at certain point of time after failure they give up, right? So Shashikant, you have been working on personality of people, right? So how do you identify this challenge, and how do you actually help them to still continue? Because when they give up, they are giving up not only on trading, but they are giving up on those dreams, their hopes, right? And they are at times giving up on themselves, right? So how do you actually help them here to stay in that particular high zone, high energy zone, so that they can continue?
Actually, it's like what we are doing is like within the family. We initially, when they come to introductory session, immediately we will tell, okay, this is not a one-to-one. Like it's a family, it's a teamwork. So I will build the confidence with them. So you are not doing alone. You are with us, so that we can help for a long period. It is not like one time you come here with this thing, fees and investment, then you learn and go. No, it is not like that. So that is why even today, the first student of our software engineer student, even today, he came here and we discussed and we have a relationship with them. Like, it's one on it's growing together. It is not just making money. It's about the life. So we are a lot of whatever we learn that we are going to share with them, so that they can feel very easy trading. They can make easy money here. So it's not like it's not very difficult for them to be with us.
I think that's an amazing approach, because people who are doing it individually, they might be making money for some time, but then they actually after some time they give up, because there is no hand holding and there is no community that you people have built, right? So basically, when there is a community, they get inspired by each other, and there is someone to hold that hand and tell them, hey, it's okay to go through this, right? This is going to pass, and then you are also going to continue and join us. Right. So I think that's a beautiful approach that you both are taking, and the kind of community that you are building together. So that's amazing. And since you spoke about corporate professionals, of course, corporate and entrepreneurs also there. But since you spoke about corporate, I also come from IT background, and I coach a lot of IT professionals out there. So what is the step-by-step approach that they can take in terms of learning this, Meena? Because you have been doing this for over around 2 decades now. So how do
Yeah.
they get started rather than doing a lot of mistakes out?
Yeah, so I always insist that learning or making money in the stock market, it's not something which can happen overnight. So it has to be a very gradual process. So I tell them, just keep doing. Don't rely on the stock market as a source of income in the beginning. So you have to give it some time. It's like the moment you have got into enrolled yourself into a course, it doesn't mean that you start generating profits. I try to relate the other courses that they've gone through their lives all throughout, whatever learnings they've had. It's not that in the initial stages they started producing results out of it, or started getting revenues out of it. So I make them realize that it has to go on gradual, and then I put it into three slots. Basically, the first thing is I will try to tell them, show them as what all opportunities are available in this market. So that is the first thing try to get them savvy with. So that is when I start off with a lot of theory elements and everything, what is required from a very practical aspect, because these days it is the era of Google. So you Google it, you get it, but then all that which is on the Google cannot feed your the right approach, or whatever questions or whatever queries are going on to you. It will not be addressed in a personal way, because You may personally have something, and either the YouTubes or the Googles cannot give you the kind of answers or replies because they're not interactive. So in that sense, I tell them that whatever they have learned, they should be adapting that, practicing that. So that is when I told you I'm a very strict taskmaster, because I give them assignments and then ask them to do it. My youngest student happens to be 18-year-old, and my oldest is 81. So I have this biggest range of people who come to me. So irrespective of their age, I treat them all like, kids, or like, the learning student. So what happens here is I walk them through, I tell them that how important, or how really they need to work on the market, to understand the perspective of the market, to understand the pulse of the market. They try to strike a chemistry with the market, only then they will be able to make money. Otherwise, just it's not like you mug up and you write answers. It's not that kind of a profession here, of course. So they need to go through a lot of things. So the first phase, I get them introduced to the opportunities. Next, I try to help them identify these opportunities. So they should be able to identify. Having learned, they should be able to identify. So I've given them 3 phases, where then they are walked in slowly from phase to phase. So they will see their growth gradually happening, and then ultimately, when they come to the third phase, that's when they start monetizing from the stock market. So that is a 3-level stage that they walk through. So by the time they get to their third final stage, they are more or less very, very confident about the technical aspects. But all that they may be fearful is about the emotional aspects. So that's when he pitches in, and then tries to get them to get the right approach to the market. Because a lot of, when money gets involved, that's when there are so many turmoils, and then people see all kinds of roller coasters, and then the intelligence goes for a holiday, and then your mind takes over and everything. I mean, your emotions take over. So that is when there will be ups and downs, and we get them back. We address the issues. I try to address the technical aspects as to what goes wrong and everything. So having done all this, over a period of time, gradually after they start walking up through all these 3 stages, they see themselves as independent traders at the end of the course. So whether they be traders, or they be investors, they will see themselves having being in control of of forecasting where the market is headed. So when they see themselves there, I don't think there's any more scope for any kind of fear, or any kind of disturbance in their mind. So be it any profession, wherever they are, when they see that gradually they are learning towards understanding the market, or having learned about the market, they are now able to forecast where the market is heading. So that is when they see their journey going through, and I would have given them a preface, fair picture in the beginning, and that is what we follow also. So ultimately, when they get there, even if they are not able to trade, because of their professions, they still go ahead and invest some money and make money as investors. But in control, this time, it's not like somebody gave us a cue, or somebody gave us a call, and then there was a friend who bought it and then I bought it, or there was somebody talking something about it on the television and I picked it up. It's not that kind of thing anymore for them, because they know very clearly as to what they're doing and why they're doing. And if they happen to be professionals who have a full-time job in hand, and they're looking at this as a secondary source of income, then what happens, they have a little more time to relax, so they can take it at ease, so they are not under too much of a pressure. But when somebody wants to generate money for today, I have to pay this and I will generate from this, now that's not going to happen. So that is the first mindset that needs to be altered, or thought about, or spoken about. So that is something I make very clear in the beginning itself, before we even include students. We address this, and then we make sure that they have the right approach to it, and then we walk them through. So that's how they take it.
Yeah, I think that's a good approach, and having a structured way that people can learn. that actually helps them, rather than randomly doing some stuff and getting some success at times, but then later going on with a lot of failures and losses, right? But and in stock market especially, it said like always play for long, right? Play for that long game, and uh, look at the long term, right? But there are a lot of people again coming with a short term gain, right? And they want to do short term. So how do you suggest, like, what is it for everyone? Is it the long term gain they have to look at, or is it fine for people to look at short term, for people who are coming as passive sources of income? How do you look at this and then recommend people?
I mean, I would like to tell you that I'm more of the short-term kind of a person because, I definitely agree that in the long run there is a lot of money in this market. But definitely it is not so that you can rule out the fact that there is a lot of money in intraday or in the short term as well. So it's just like having put in a seed and then you wait for years for the tree to grow and then start fruiting. That is like investing, and this is like the short term crops that you keep growing and then making money. So that's all about it. Now you cannot try to equate it, but then it's the time. And basically I look at this, what is the kind of energy force they come with, meaning do they have that stability, mind stability, the calmness to take up trading? Because trading is something where you need to have a lot of composure, need to have a lot of stability, mental stability I'm talking about, for you to take up trading. And for somebody who does not have time in hand, for them investment is a big or the choice that they can choose. But for somebody who can have a lot of time, and then they can even if they come with small resources, we can still generate sizable profits. In fact, we generate extremely unrealistic kind of profits. That's what we see in a short term, or even for that matter in intraday. But then the discipline is something which is an underlying statement when it comes to trading. So you should have a real strong character to hold on to the losses. And as you were just mentioning, or you were asking Shashikant about how do you manage handling people who run away from the stock market having seen losses, or they wind up. So that is a very likely thing that can happen when you.
And one more thing I would like to add here. So people who are already joined in our class, with the reference, we are growing very big, like internationally. So that is what is very important here. So that's what she is giving a very good importance for them, so that they can repeatedly they can come here, they can learn and.
Yeah, I think that also makes sense. Yeah, go ahead, Meena.
Right. So, basically they need to have that real kind of mind stability. And for somebody who does not have time, has the kind of investment and just wants a second source of income, I think that is for people who are, a full timer elsewhere. I mean, having a profession in hand. For such kind of people, definitely, the investment is the right way outlook, because this is definitely a short term game, no doubt, but it requires your complete dedication. There is no scope without concentrating on the profession. So you cannot put it on the side lanes and then expect money from this market. So if you happen, or if anybody happens to be a short time trader or an intraday trader, I tell them, if you have the time in hand and have the discipline to stick on, then you better be a trader rather than an investor. And vice versa for somebody who has no time in hand but then has some kind of investment, they can grow their profits in the long term. So that's the
Yeah.
game. So ultimately there are different phases of this. There it's very versatile. So depending on your kind of quality and the time availability, I think one should choose wisely to get into any of these you know either of the sections.
Great. I think that's a good perspective of how people can look at two different things, right? If they have to look at long term investing money and can't invest the time, but if they are looking at if they can invest their time and then have that discipline, I think they can also look for ultimately both ways. It is win win situations. But
Absolutely.
understanding what to choose in which situation, I think very important for people, right?
Absolutely.
So this is an approach, right, which you have explained. But there are times, there are people, I think we have also seen in our lives, like who get started, maybe do good, and they jump into decisions like quitting their jobs, and then later they continue to struggle, saying, hey, this is not working for me. So how do you look at it, and have you been able to generate any results where people have been able to like quit job and pick up this as full time? And
Mhm.
for that, what is required if somebody has to do? Because I think people understanding that is also very important, rather than
Absolutely.
just jumping out of a job and then later regretting.
Correct. So, in fact, we've had a lot of students who have done that, put down papers because the kind of jobs or pressures that they were going through has been very tremendously pressurized, and then, really demanding for them. So they have put down their papers, they've come out, and then that was the time when, a lot of people would approach me after having put down their papers, and someone would be in the verge of putting down their papers, and they would have approached me. With all such kind of people, the first thing I would like to address or tell them is, do not expect anything from this market until at least another year. You have to dedicate at least 1 year's time for this market, and on a learning note. It's not like, you're worked up, you're looking, you've fixed your deadline and you're working towards it. So then it so happens that you start putting on the pressure onto the market and onto yourself, and demanding. So if somebody has not put down their papers, if they are not quit their jobs, and for such people, I would definitely say, take some time out. Realize that this is not something which is going to fetch you money overnight. So do your learning process, do your understanding, do a lot of this. I told you, identifying the opportunities kind of a thing, wherein we also call this as mock trading or paper trading. So I would put them onto an extended duration to do this, so that whatever trades they're taking up, they come back and they discuss with me, and then we have a note on that, and then take it further, kind of a thing. But for somebody who's already who's put down papers, then I would definitely ask them to go slow, or I would definitely say, before putting down the papers, they had not thought about this market, or they had not taught themselves anything in the market. It's like, day one, you've just become an engineer, or whatever profession, or a doctor, and anything, any profession you consider for that matter. And day one, yeah, the right after your certification, you just call yourself a doctor or an engineer, and then you say that you start demanding, you're booking your dream car or a dream house. It's not going to happen that way. So you have to treat this market, in the same aspect as well. So you have to take it as a you have to, there you can either treat it as a business, you can treat it as a profession, how you want to take it. But this is something where a serious job. It's not like, it is not like, it's not gambling. It's not gambling, it's not a casino. So you just make money here and then go out. No, it's not like that. There's a lot of learning which goes into this market as well. So it is pretty demanding, as I told you. It needs your entire attention. It's like a newborn child, just demanding so much. So you'll have to be prepared for it. So I tell them, unless you are prepared for this, you're tough and you're ready for it, do not step into the stock market. Of course, you can be an investor, where you have just sown a seed and just wait for it to grow. But then if you are a trader, if you're looking at yourself as a trader or a short term trader or an intraday trader, you have to have that dedication to it, and then you have to be really keen on what you're doing. And of course, we have had a lot of these people. So people who have really good, as I was just mentioning earlier also, there was this person from the IT industry who put down his papers, and who saw his career here, and he started making thrice the profit, of what he was earning as salary. So that is very much possible out here. So even as a trader, when you start making money, I tell them, start creating assets. So I'll tell them management also, money management, as to how they can really start creating assets, so that all that they generate, you just don't dump it into the same place, and then one day you're broke, you don't know where to go. So it's not even so. So even as a trader, you even if you start as a trader, you can still become an investor, and you can still create wealth and assets from this market, is what I really give a outlook for.
Great. That is really nice. And I think when you were mentioning about gambling, one of the big myths is also that, hey, this is a gamble, right? And Of course, there are traders and investors, two set of people, but this third set of people who believe that this is not a good game to play. So how do you create awareness, and how do you also like educate people what stock trading is and how it can actually help them to build more financial confidence and financial freedom for themselves? How do you
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah, the first thing what we do is when they come in for an introductory session, I really give them a glimpse about this market, and then the opportunities and avenues that they can have. But when they enroll themselves, I have an entire session when I talk about how scientific this market is and how much of learning has gone into it and how you can really forecast. It's just like this: we are not in control of nature. Agreed. But we are definitely in control of forecasting the nature to a very large extent. So similarly is the stock market as well. So we cannot control the moves of the market, but definitely we can forecast where the market is headed. You just need to get the pulse of the market. So identifying the right pulse of the market, trying to figure out what each a step of the market is saying, or how you read it, how you depict it, and how you what with what
Yes.
perspective you look at it is what matters to you ultimately. So you better understand the market and its behaviors and its formations is what I try to teach them. So on day one, without a fail, I give them a glimpse about what is this market all about. So the people who would have come with a lot of myths, the day one, it's all broken, and then they start setting up their path right, because this is something where they have to walk a long way through. So then you walk halfway and then you look back and you're skeptical about whether it is definitely going to lead you to success or not. Now that's not going to work. So when somebody takes up this, they have to start with a conviction that this is going to work for them. So that is what I try to give them the day on day one. So we definitely address about how they need to approach this market on day one.
Great. And I think when Shashikant introduced himself, he spoke about how he is coming from that engineering background, right? But when it comes to stocks and when it comes to the market, it is a lot about numbers, right? It is a lot about analytics where you are looking at it. So, can somebody who does not understand numbers, who is not from that financial or analytical background, can they also do it, Shashikant? Like, is it for them as well?
Definitely, definitely. Actually, thing is, it is like passion. It's about the passion. Even when build your passion, then definitely it is possible. Otherwise, it is a number. So you cannot understand. See, magic and logic both has to be combined. Of combination of this, it works. And one more thing is I would like to add here is the same pitch, same ground, same cricket bat, everything is same, and coach is also same. Finally, ultimately, you have to find your own stroke in that cricket. The same thing will happen even in the stock market also. They have to find their passion and they have to work on that. Then they will find the results, good results. Then they feel very happy. So that is most important.
Yeah, I think that's beautifully explained there. And stock market training is also something that's evolving as a career, right? A lot of stock market trainers are coming into play. So now you both are also into stock market training. How important is it for people to have like good English language skills here? Because again, a lot of businesses are dependent on the language, right? So can somebody who understands the local language can also become a stock market trainer, like me coming from Bangalore, Karnataka, right? If I understand only the local language, can that serve me? What about others if they are coming from different places? Can this also be taken care, or is it important for people to learn the language for this?
I really don't think there's a language barrier for it, because all that we need to do is, in fact, even answering, connecting to your previous question where you asked, it's a lot about numbers and mathematics, and is it that people? No, I come from a science background, and there are a lot of people who come from the arts and the commerce and from all facets, and you will not believe I have a couple who are tailors. So in fact they have the basic education that that they had, but then it's got nothing to do with it. All that they need to do is a keen eye to just look at the market. The perspective is what we share here. So I tell people that if somebody asks me now what is my USP, then I would definitely say it is a perspective. I share my perspective. So my perspective is something which has fetched me, has got me where I am now, and then it is working for me. It is working through me. So it has to work for you as well, is what I tell them. So this has got nothing to do with the whether you what background you come and. Whether the language barriers and all of it. As I told you, we have tailors, we have the CEOs, we have varied professions, all kind of
Right.
people coming in. But then it's like bringing up a child, as I was telling. It doesn't matter to the child what language you speak, but as long as you can understand the emotions of the child, you are able to bring up the child. So it is just like that. So there are some basic terminologies, definitely I agree, that needs to be learned, and I think that much of understanding, I think anybody, any literate can get it. So it is not a question of language. Language is never a barrier. And they should be computer literate, of course. So that is the only qualification that they need, I think, technically speaking. And they should know basic mathematical addition, of course. So the basic literacy is what I'm talking about, irrespective of what language they come from, because we've had students across the globe and across India. So not everybody is going from a qualified, the so-called qualified note. They do not come from that. So I think qualification is never a barrier. As long as you're able to get your basics right, you have a very strong will to do it, and you are not going to quit this come what may, because every field has its own flaws, has its own dips and ups, and then there are going to be failures. I'm going to tell people in the beginning stages, you are going to see failures, be prepared for it. This is not a profession laid with roses only. It also has thorns. So if you want the rose, be ready to accept the thorns, but definitely you will enjoy the ride at the end of the journey. So somebody who is very strong willed, who is ready and prepared to walk this way through, I think for them, I think language or any kind of other things should never be a barrier.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of people to enter into this field. I think this becomes a good career for a lot of people then, because if language is not a barrier, but if they can understand the science or the arts behind what goes on here, I think it helps. Uh, and one of the things, if you see this particular field, it is like one mistake you do and you are going through losses, right? It's straight away dealing with money, right? Whereas some other professions are not like that. So you have been into this for 2 decades, Meena, right? What are the big mistakes, like if you have to identify that you made or you see people making, like 3 mistakes, if you have to see and you have to talk about that people should avoid here? What are those three?
The first thing is they go aggressive on the market. They go very voracious. Like one trade they see, they make profits. So they start going over it, over it, over it. They're not happy with what they have seen. They want more of it. So that's, I'm talking about going greedy on the market. So that's one element that they need to really work upon. So the second thing that I would like to say is, if at all, somebody is going on over trading, then at least they should have the discipline of placing a stop loss. So you will see that most of the traders, it so happens that either they are over trading, and that's when they lost all that they have made or even more to it. And the second thing is they trade without a stop loss. So I think this is the only profession where we have been blessed with the privilege to curb our losses. So then if we do not make the best of it, then I think we are the most foolish people who are not taking the advantage of the stop loss. So stop loss is a very important element that I would push people to hold on to. And the third thing is definitely getting yourself not focused, and then getting yourself strayed away with a lot of things, trying to learn from everywhere and then mixing up everything possible, and then trying to implement. Each day you come up with a new strategy, new learning. You think this is not that is not right. So you have to stick to something. Just stick to something, religiously follow that over a period of time. Even if it's a very basic, very simple strategy, it will still fetch you results, good results, if you stick to it with conviction. So if you start, straying away from that on and off, then you're bound to see losses, is what I will tell them. Because Rolling Stones, they will never gather mass. So it's just like that.
Right. I think this will save a lot of money and time and effort for a lot of people when they understand what not to do and the mistakes to avoid. So thank you for sharing that, Meena. And since Meena has shared the mistakes, like Shashikant, what are the three important elements you believe, or the three key points that can help people to get success in this particular field or industry?
The first thing is belief, self belief. No, confidence is very, very important. The second thing is courage. Okay, then building the character. That's the most important. Wherever, whenever, whatever may be the case, I'm going to win. So that is attitude, and that should be the attitude. So that is most important thing.
Yeah,
And
I think beautiful.
yeah, learning is very, very important. Each and every stage, they have to learn the corrections and whatever the mistakes they have done. They have to, get through that. That is important.
Great. That is really nice and very powerful tip shared by both of you. Like, I can see like one is speed, one is stability, one is talking on mindset, one is talking on technical, right? So this is a great combination, and I think that's where you have been able to generate some great results out there. So for people who are watching, if you are interested into getting into this, then you can definitely reach out to Shashikant and Meena. They would be the best people to support you here. And Shashikant, Meena, where can they get in touch with you? Like, how people can get in touch with you on social media? What are the channels, or where can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, we have a website, swasthasamprada.com. SWASTHA SAMPRADA. So swasthasamprada.com. That is one more thing. And another thing is number. That is mobile number 98450 91789. There is one more number. And one more
Great.
number. Yeah. Shall I tell one more number?
Yeah, you can share that number as
Yeah.
well. Anyways, this is your team number, so I think one is sufficient, right?
Yeah.
People can reach out to the team, which can help you to get connected with Shashikant and Meena, and of course the website that they mentioned. You can reach out to them through that channel if you want to learn more, and if you want to actually build your financial confidence, your financial freedom. I think this is the way, and these two people can definitely help you with that. So thank you, Shashikant. Thank you, Meena, for being on this show and guiding
Thank
our
you.
audience.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much
Thank
for
you so
this
much, sir. Thank you for this
opportunity,
opportunity.
and it was a great pleasure being on the show. Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you so much, sir.
Thank you once again, and thanks everyone for watching us. And I'm sure you will enjoy this episode. And this is going to be one of the most hot topics that you need to know, you need to understand, and how do you avoid those mistakes, and how do you learn the right things and then do it. So pick it from here, learn from here, and then take it forward. That is going to help you in terms of building your dream life. So thank you everyone, and thank you once again, Sashikant and Meena, for being here.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.